Welcome, Cang. Thank you so much for coming. I'm really interested in what you guys do at Stern Ventures and what you invest in.
So at Stern Ventures, we're an investment bank dedicated to helping executives connect with strategic resources, whether that be M&A transactions or capital raises or secondary transactions for shareholders that are looking for liquidity. With respect to what we invest in, we don't invest as principals, but we help facilitate those transactions with buyers and sellers, investors and issuers.
So you're sort of like the middlemen.
Yes, absolutely.
Networker.
Right, right. And with respect to some of the deals that we work on, they include FinTech, AI companies, and most of our transactions are $10 million and above.
And so you're doing transactions with AI. Where do you think things are going as far as AI? It's a pretty exciting domain and lots of new things are coming, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And in particular, with respect to FinTech and AI, there's some exciting things. If you think about the greater economy, right, it's all about value identification, value creation, and then value capture and value distribution. And if you look at where AI can participate, it participates in every single portion of that, the greater economy, in those elements, right? And if you think about AI and its development, with starting with Deep Blue, IBM beating the greatest chess player, AlphaGo beating the greatest Go player. What was it? There's also IBM Watson beating humans with respect to Jeopardy. Now, all of those are games, right? And within all games, there are decisions to be made, and there are consequences from those decisions. If you think about the biggest game of all time, it's actually the stock market. All right,
Yes.
and eventually someone will create an AI that will win at the stock market. And if you think about that and what happened with AlphaZero beating AlphaGo, because it was an AI created to beat itself, right?
Yes.
Then there's no competition after that. So once once the value gets captured by an AI with respect to a game, which is the stock market, which really boils down to three decision-making, right, or decisions to be made: buy, sell, or hold. And if they can control that and win, then there's going to be some very exciting times.
So we're in the midst of, we were talking about the midst of the crypto blockchain craze that's sort of taken over everyone's consciousness. But I would imagine if something like that happened with the stock market, that would be a huge sea change if the stock market sort of stopped, right?
Yeah, if you think about blockchain and the value proposition that it has, which is a distributed ledger, right? It's really about being able to store value and identify who owns what, right? And that's part of the value identification, value creation, value capture, and distribution, right? And so once you have something that captures pretty much all of the value, it wins 100% of the time, then you really have to rethink the value distribution portion of that equation.
Yeah, the structure would have to change totally, really, wouldn't it?
Yes, yes. Yeah, and then there are people already looking forward to trying to answer that dilemma, including people who are proposing MINCOME, which is an entirely different social solution to these problems.
That's fantastic, and you get exposure to all this. It's really interesting. Well, look, thanks again for coming, and I'm sure it's going to be a really interesting panel.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Pimo.